People hatch eggs or not. Watch the girl in action. First put the egg on the bed. By the next day, the egg has grown in size. Then she put the egg inside the bear's body. By the next day, the egg became as big as the girl. Just then the shell began to break. The baby inside was finally about to break out of its shell. So where did this egg come from? Just a few days ago, a crow flew into Xiao Mei's house. The raven was on a rampage. Mei covered the crow with a red cloth. She couldn't bear to hurt the crow. She decided to set it free, but her mother said she would let him handle it. The next moment, and that's how the crow got its lunch. At the end, she returned the crow's body to Mei. Mei threw the crow into the rubbish bin. Then she covered the bin and left. But just then, the crows moved, and the family's disaster was about to begin. When Mei came out for her evening walk, she found the crow alive during the day. But now the crow was dying. Mei killed the crow with reluctance. The crow was smashed to a bloody pulp. Mei found an egg on the side, and that's how the video begins. Within a few days, the egg starts to hatch, but when it hatched, it turned out to be a monster. The monster grabbed Xiao Mei's hand and let him stroke his head. Apparently, the monster thought Xiao Mei was his mother. Seeing how well behaved the monster was, Xiao Mei soon accepted it. First, she gave the monster a bath, cleaned the mucus from its body. At first, the monster refused, but soon the creature adapted and became annoyed with Xiao Mei. With the monster's company, Xiao Mei was also very happy. At night, the monster sleeps under the bed. But then something strange happened. The neighbor's dog kept barking at night. Mei was distracted by the noise. The monster seemed to sense Mei's annoyance, and it came out of the room. The monster sits on the girl's bed, then opened its little mouth. A drop of slime fell down. When Xiao Mei was woken up, the monster drilled Mei's head through its mouth. This time the neighbor's dog was right next to her. Mei threw up straight away. But then a disgusting scene occurred. The monster ate the vomit. Mei thought the monster was hungry. The next day, the dog was taken care of first, but Mei didn't realize that her brother had watched the scene. Then Mei fed the monster bird food, but the monster didn't seem to be interested in it. Then Mei put the bird food into the water and chewed it. After a few bites, she spat it all out. Seeing Mei spit it out, the monster ate it. By the next day, my brother brought out the dog that Mei had buried, but the mother only liked Mei. She thought the brother had done it all. The brother was so angry that he pushed Mei to the ground. The monster sensed that Mei was being bullied. The day Mei came home, she saw her mother cuddling with a stranger. When her mother found her in the evening, she said that the man's name was Dezhuang. Don't tell anyone. The next day her mother took Xiao Mei to see Dezhuang. This time she didn't hide it. To Xiao Mei's surprise, they had a child. Straight into the night, Xiao Mei was really lonely sitting in bed alone. This time, the monster appeared out of nowhere, and so the two slept together. But then the monster became more and more human. But Mei was not afraid. Instead, she stroked his face. That day, Mei was practicing gymnastics as usual. She often misses a move, but there are many talented people. Xiao Mei's best friend succeeded in this move. She also managed to win her mother's approval. The next night, Mei found the monster had disappeared. There was still a remnant of the beak on the table. The monster is now following Mei's best friend. It had attacked her directly. When Mei arrived at the hospital, she was already in a state of disfigurement. Most of her body was broken. She was now no longer able to practice gymnastics. When Mei got home, she asked the monster why it had done this, but the monster was on the floor and didn't understand what she was saying. Then Mei raised her arms and kept slapping her face, but the monster felt sorry for Mei and took her into his arms. When Mei woke up, she saw an incredible sight. The monster looked exactly like herself. Just then Dezhuang heard a noise in the room. He opened the door straight away. The scene in front of him made him panic too. Handsome man pushes open the door. There was a monster inside the room. The monster lunged at Dezhuang. Xiao Mei closed the door for fear that Dezhuang would be hurt. It clipped Dezhuang's hand. It hurt so much, but Dezhuang mistook the monster for Xiao Mei. He thought Xiao Mei might not be used to this place. It was normal for her to be a bit strange. But that day Xiao Mei found out her mother had put all her love into her brother. It was hard for Xiao Mei, and the monster could feel it too. As a result, just before Mei left, the monster came to her brother's room. He picked up the axe and prepared to chop it down. At that moment, Mei sensed that the monster was going to kill her brother. She fell straight off the bar and broke her arm. This stopped the monster. This time Dezhuang heard the sound and came over. The monster jumped out of the window and fled. Dezhuang picked up his son with a look of disbelief on his face. This is too much. When Xiao Mei and her mother returned home, Dezhuan was furious and told them not to enter the house. Leave the house at once. The mother also looked puzzled, and so they were driven out. When they returned home, the mother said hello to the father, and the father didn't ask any questions. It was as if nothing had happened. It was so strange. Why? The monster also came back with Mei. She hid in the cupboard. Mom saw the monster in the cupboard and thought it was Mei. She brushed her hair, but the comb went down. She ripped off a piece of her scalp. The next moment, the monster hugged her. Mei saw this and immediately separated them. Her mother was surprised to see the two little beauties. Mei told her mother why, but instead of being angry, she hugged her mother. Then she took out a knife and prepared to kill the monster. When the mother stabbed the monster, she couldn't bear the thought of the monster being killed. She stepped forward and blocked the knife. Then she fell to the ground and died. The monster's wounds healed, and his eyes became the same color as Xiaomei's. He was lying on the ground. He kept screaming. The monster was now completely transformed into Xiao Mei. I am your friend. See you next time.